My name's Adam Manaka and I'm the Financial Controller for Hi-Tec Oils. With our national capacity, we can now service Australian companies nationwide. Of late, we have now expanded into the New Zealand market. Here at Hi-Tec Oils, we receive premium base oils and premium additive packs. Together, with our highly trained staff, we manufacture over 500 premium quality products. Hi-Tec Oils is Australian made and Australian owned.
We've had our qualifying out of the way. We've now got the top 16 shaping up a ladder and ready to qualify. So Brad Toohey is a top qualifier there, getting the automatic bye against last place Mitch Sanders. And then trickling back to the middle, we have second versus second last, so on and so forth. So the guys who really nailed qualifying end up there and getting those easy battles early on. First battle we're going to see, though, is the battle of the SR20s. Anthony BILIC up against Josh Kelly.
Let's see what the boys can throw down here, Dave. The SR versus the SR. BILIC out in the lead with JK on the chase.
Your favourite frothers, mate. How's that noise? Getting up it?
Yeah, the little whippersnippers going hard. BILIC a little bit offline, that entry. The judges want to see you really push out wide and get close to the edge of the track. JK's putting in a good chase here as we jump on board with him from the in-car.
How's the view there of what is a pretty much stock stripped S13 interior? He goes so hard, JK. You know, this car's really been developed. That killer new wrap that's on there, and you know, it's a really, really nice car. And Josh just kills it on the drive as well.
Yeah, JK stepping up this year, you know, jumping into the pros, throwing down with the big boys, and you know, he's stepping up really quick. And the car's pretty basic, but you know, he's going to continue modding it throughout the season and, you know, pushing hard to get up there.
Tough battle to go up against in that top 16 though. BILIC has so much experience under his belt, and when this S13's working, I mean, he's had a few issues, but this thing seems to be on note tonight. Bit of an exhaust leak that I initially thought, you know, was some engine troubles, but by the way BILIC's been driving it, he's switched on and ready to go. And look at him just trying to tuck in here, but you know, for someone so new to the series, Josh Kelly's really got that speed through the bottom section. But an issue.
Oh no. Poor JK, he had a killer lead run going on there, out wide on that entry where the judges want to see, push him wide down the bottom corner, and unfortunately something's happened to the vehicle. We'll have to find out what's going on.
Yeah, it looks like a big drop in power or something there, just ready to go for that entry, but BILIC not hesitating for a second, throwing a rear bar at him and saying, see you, mate.
Yeah. Robert Arbolino in the lead, chased by Finney O'Hare all the way from Melbourne. In that killer S15, you know, Finney's been battling some problems as a brand new build car, but he's been getting through them, and you know, he's going to keep him pushing hard and hopefully get him up there.
Yeah, that fluoro wrap is absolutely wild on Finney's car, and you know, it seems to make quite a bit of power, but nothing even comes close to calling what we affectionately named the company car there, the Hi-Tec Oils 350Z twin turbo LS under the bonnet, and man can Rob drive it.
Oh mate, he's angry, you know, he's been doing some mods to the car to really step it up and get up there this year, and it's really paying off. As you can see, the thing's absolutely baking tyres. You know, it's got the MCA suspension in it now, really pushing that grip down to the road surface, and it's really showing.
Yeah, no stories, man. Rob Arbolino straight to the advantage there, and now he is in the chase. Finney getting a chance at some free air without that big smoke screen in front of him, tipping a lot of angle in there, but looks... Oh, he managed to hold on to it. A lot of steering angle in the front of that car, but, you know, possibly to the detriment of speed. It didn't look too quick through there, Scott.
Throwing in that big angle, mate, hitting those tyres, you know, slows you down in the speed. Rob pushing hard in the chase for this last bit of the racetrack. See if he can get up on Finney's door as they go through the last corner.
Woo, that's tight.
Mate, that's where you want to be, right there on Finney's door, pushing around the edge of that track. That's exactly what the judges want to see, mate.
And we saw it to the end of the last season with Rob as well, sometimes getting, you know, frustrated behind some slower drivers, but he seems to have really nailed reeling in that big power turbo LS, and it's worked for him. He's through to the top 8.
Yeah, Benny Meir up against Michael Bonney in the chase all the way from Melbourne. That big V8 from Benny Meir with Bonney in that 800 horsepower 2J S15 behind him. Beautiful car.
Yeah, I'm pretty stoked about that for once an LS swapped drift car out on the track is at a disadvantage for power. Go the mighty J.
Too many of the eights on the track. Benny doing a killer lap here, mate. Nice and wide, exactly where... Oh, he's dropped the wheel.
Ooh. Possibly just going a little bit deep there, but he had some good speed up the straight. I think, you know, getting really aggressive and trying to lose that big power car of BONNEY behind him. But BONNEY absolutely unfazed. The only thing is, last time we saw him here on the figure eight, he had a bit of an excursion up the wall, and you know, I've seen, you know, that bank seems to be scaring him a little bit. So will he be able to bring that aggression into the top sweeper that the judges want to see?
Oh, he's nice and wide there. Benny Mir right on his door as they come through that first corner.
Just seems to be a step behind though. Every transition, BONNEY's making it, then Mir, and you know, that's so important for the judges, is they want to see these cars emulated. Regardless of where you are as a chase car, you should be close enough to be able to switch direction at the same time. And it looks like Michael BONNEY, corner after corner, is just pulling away from Benny Mir.
Killer lead run by Michael BONNEY, proving up there why he's a seasoned veteran. That 2J S15 really proving their horsepower out there and pulling away from Benny Mir.
Yeah, really seemed to pedal it nicely as well, and you know, coming through for a top 8 spot. And that's what's on the line here now, with Daniel KRISTIC behind, throwing it into practically a spin and a big fishtail. I mean, Jabbert had a bit of a dirt drop there, but I mean, judges have to see that advantage early on, with KRISTIC just trying to pick up the pieces through the rest of the run.
Messy from Jabbert, messy from KRISTIC, but I think the mistake was bigger from KRISTIC as they continue the lap. Obviously, KRISTIC's got a problem there. I don't know what's going on, but he's been off boost pretty much half the race, so obviously a mechanical going on with his car. Hopefully he can get it sorted.
Yeah, I mean, that RX-7 has a turbo larger than my head, which is pretty big in itself. And, you know, this thing, I believe it's a quarter, a triple rotor under there, and seeing it coming in from some big track sections, it is absolutely glowing under there. So I can't even imagine what it's like to keep a big turbo, big power rotary on boost on such a tight circuit. But see if in the lead position he has any better of a crack at it. That looks a bit wide.
He's running a bit wide. I think something might actually be wrong with his steering there, Dave. You know, he's running wide everywhere. It looks like he hasn't got the grip that he usually has on this track. Jabbert trying to do the best that he can do behind him. A little bit messy.
How's that though? When it's on, it is on. The rocket ship RX-7 just hosing up that bottom straight there, but then, you know, maybe missing the gear selection on the down change. And it's been a bit of a battle of mistakes here, and lucky for your teammate James Abbott, I think he's able to come out on top of that one.
Yeah, unfortunately, like KRISTIC's car just wasn't working well. You know, when it's on song, and it's one of the crowd favourites. So hopefully he gets that sorted.
Here we go now, 2 extra oddball cars as well. We've got Aaron Duar there with the Carby swapped late model LS V8 under the bonnet of an S14, chased by Warwick Hill in the 2J, I believe, or 1J swapped E46 BMW.
2J BMW, I'm pretty sure there now. They've done a conversion just before this round. But Aaron Duar out in the lead doing exactly what the judges want to see. Let's see if he can get wide out to the edge of the racetrack. Nice by Aaron.
He's becoming a real name to reckon with in this series. I mean, just really nailing the line that the judges are looking for, and so comfortable in that S14.
You can tell he's been working really, really hard on getting that first corner dialed in, and it's really showing out there in all these lead runs. Let's see if he can do it in the chase now.
That's the noise of a race car right there. Let's ride on board. I feel like it's really that sound clip there that gives you a feel for the difference between driving an NA V8 car and a turbo, you know, straight 6 or any sort of Japanese motor on this track is, while Warwick's working so hard to, you know, clutch it back onto power and try and make sure he's up in that boost range, Aaron Duar's able to just, you know, pedal on and, you know, not taking anything away from his driving effort either, which was absolutely exceptional, hearing those straight cut gears grind. But, you know, just the difference in driving styles there is he's able to be so much more dialed and fiddle around there. And talking about an NA weapon of a completely different kind, Bo Yates in that carbureted 13B K70.
Let's see what Adam Becker can do in the chase, pulling away from old mate Bo in the lead. Such a nice presented car, old mate Glenn's car, and really shows in the track. A basic car like we always said, but it's got that killer suspension setup and good wheel speed, and really shows out on the racetrack.
How's that line though? I mean, you can tell instantly that that's Bo behind the wheel, going down there, nailing that outside bottom straight, but Adam Becker's doing everything he can to chase down that little box of Glenn Ormerod's, and great battle and great show out there from Adam Becker's, but when you go up against Bo in the top 16, you're going to get hurt.
After dramas in round one, it's just good to see him get out there and do a clean battle. Let's see what he can do now in the lead with Bo in the chase and that little killer KE.
Seems to really be getting up that Safira. It's a LS under the bonnet there, and Adam seems very, very comfortable with this car, but Bo, right there on that chase technique, obviously thinking about not bending Glenn's car that we'll see a bit later on in the Pro-Am series.
Adam out there, obviously shallow. The judges want to see you really wide out there, so he'll get marked down accordingly to that one.
But again, being able to see that difference in skill there of Bo being able to not only follow a much higher-powered car, but actually improve on the line in some places. Going that little bit wider to the track edge, up through that top sweeper there as well, taking the wider line without sacrificing proximity, and that's what you really want to see from someone stepping it up in the chase.
Mitchell Jeffries in the lead with Mitch Cole in the chase. That killer 2J package that Mitch has under the bonnet there, obviously doing its thing.
Yeah, really, really nicely set up S13. This thing came from Camo years ago, and Mitch Jeffries just been putting so much time and effort into this, fiddling with the rear end setup, getting everything under the bonnet right. And Mitch Cole as well, he's definitely been spinning spanners outside of this series as well, because that car really used to lob around and, it wasn't looking as planted, but Mitch has just been driving so much more nicely since he got that V8 powered S13. A little bit flatter and responding to what he wanted to do, but Mitch Jeffries still getting the advantage.
One of the young and up-and-comers of the series. Let's see what he can do in the lead. He's been working hard, like you said, to get that set up dialed in, and it seems to be showing up. Put on a nice lead run here. He was out wide. Let's see what he can do through the S's.
Good on that clip, and what a view to see it. Mitch Jeffrey as well with that roof cam. We can see just that much closer to all the inside clips while still following Mitchell Cole.
Killer runs by both here. Let's see what Mitchell can do around the last corner. Can he get nice and wide? Not as wide as the judge want to see, but look at Mitchell Jeffrey on his door.
Yeah, really tucking in nicely there, and this will be the view to see it. Coming in on that entry, and then just calm and collected. That seems to be the words I always use about Mitchell Jeffrey, because everything just seems to be clinically calculated. He chases so nicely, and that's what's earned him a spot in the top 8, going up against Bo Yates. James Ammett going to be facing off against Aaron Duar, Brad Toohey and Anthony Bilic, and then Rob Arbolino up against Benny Mears.
Bo Yates there in the pits, getting the car ready for battles. That little K70 driving it tonight, obviously his car's out of action.
Man, that is a sight to behold. It's been ages since I've seen Bo driving an NA chassis, but we'll wait and see a bit later on, because now Anthony Bilic chasing down Brad Toohey, a guy that he's had his sights on for so long, and how hard's that chase?
Oh, look at these two. Brad Toohey, a little bit of an understeer. Obviously he was getting in his way, he's off it. Brad Toohey, a little bit of understeer on that entry, but ever since he sorted that out, man, this thing is destroying those Achilles tyres. Absolutely baking the track out with smoke. Exactly what we want to see. I don't even know what the clipping points were, man. I couldn't even see it.
Nah, absolutely hazed there. Billy getting hot and sweaty in the driver's seat. But it was interesting to see the difference in power. So Toohey coming up the front straight would open up that gap, but then Billy right there with him on those hard entries. So really tight battle to call, except for that big straighten up through the smoke there that I didn't see the first time round.
Toohey just doing everything right in that lead run. Out wide, every corner, on those clips, and just cooking those Achilles tyres to nothing. Obviously, Billy with that straighten up, as you saw through the smoke, which the judges are going to judge him down on that one.
But, Billy getting used to this new drop knuckle setup in the rear of the car. You can see how much grip it had there. Having to, double clutch it off the line to try and get it on and going. It's,
Toohey!
What a shame. How's the angle there on the switchback as well?
Wise stabbing through those S's, doing everything right. Let's see if he can get back on Billy's door, coming down through this bottom corner.
This thing's a rocket ship. You can see through the middle section there, Toohey slamming almost into the door of BILIC and then having to lock up the brakes and slow down, losing a little bit of a gap there, but gaining it all back towards the end of the run. Very quick drive there from Brad Toohey.
Nice from both the boys. Let's take a look at this replay. BILIC out in the lead. Toohey just right on his door, just doing everything right in that chase run. But as you can see, coming through now, BILIC, obviously these drop knuckles are working to his advantage. The car got heaps of grip coming through his bottom corner. Pulls a little bit of a gap on Toohey as they come up to the last corner.
And it's good to be able to see that, that the lack of smoke off the back of BILIC's car, actually gave it that extra grip, because smoke is speed being lost. When you see these things blazing, they're not using all the traction they could. Speaking about issues with grip there, Michael BONNEY, a little bit conservative on the entry there, and that spat him straight.
Small mistake from BONNEY in the entry. Judges aren't going to look at that on Rob's door, and another mistake from BONNEY. Obviously the car's coming off boost, being that close to Rob. Might be a little bit of grip difference between those two cars, but Rob out in the lead, just right on the edge of that track and just cooking those Achilles tyres.
We'd rather see a few mistakes from someone, a little bit unfamiliar from the track in Michael BONNEY, but then bringing that absolute aggression in the chase as well, because, that's what every now and then may come together to be a flawless run. I think it's his switchback here where he's just in. Look at that!
Aggression gets me excited, and that's what BONNEY was bringing to the table. But unfortunately, it didn't work out for him this time. Let's see if he can turn around in his lead run.
Now, in the lead, Michael BONNEY's really just going to have to be aggressive here on that entry. He did get sucked up that bank another time, like we've seen from Warwick Hill. And
Rob!
Yeah, Rob in there with him. Possibly just a lack of speed there from Michael BONNEY, but through the middle section, let's see if his grip plays to his advantage. On the power onto the bottom straight, will he be able to open up a gap? There it goes, and you can see the difference in smoke there with Michael BONNEY's car gripping and going and just spinning that little bit it needs to, while Arbolino is left there cooking out smoke. Still a strong run though from Rob Arbolino in the chase there, and considering the straighten ups and a few of the issues that we saw earlier on in the run from Michael BONNEY, yeah, the judges have called it right there. As much as we saw some really good points there from BONNEY throughout, Rob Arbolino overall, very consistent and deserving the advantage.
BONNEY will have the advantage when we go to Winton for the next round. As we go off now, James Abbott in the lead, Aaron Dwyer in the chase.
Straight cut gears are just the absolute sound of a race car. That's when you know you're in the office, and Aaron Dwyer treating it like his day job now. Nice and clinical and getting into it up the front straight, but can't seem to catch your boy Jabs.
Jabs with a nice lead run. Out wide on that top corner, which is obviously the critical corner.
It's interesting hearing those straight cut gears as well, because they give you an idea of the difference in wheel speed through these. So have a listen. As it comes up again onto that back straight and through those middle sections, that's how much these guys are pedaling it and changing the rear wheel speed to control and do what they need to do throughout the run.
Aaron Dwyer in the lead, James Abbott in the chase.
Snappy on the transitions through the middle too. That S14 just seemed to change direction a little bit quicker than Jabs' car, flicking it nicely through the middle zone there.
The White Stripe catalogue in that one, mate. Obviously doing its job.
Yeah, watch, nice and flicky here. Watch it, bang. Straight out to the other lock, no lag there. But riding on board with Jabs, he was a lot closer to the clipping points. And from a technical perspective, that's why the judges gave him the advantage. As much as the driving style of Aaron Dwyer might have looked more aggressive, when you go back and look at the paperwork and go through all those clipping points, Jabs was a lot closer to what the judges wanted to see.
Bo Yates in the lead, Mitchell Jeffrey in the chase. Both throwing it down in that little K70 13 B&A, with Mitchell Jeffries in the chase in the 2JS13.
Yeah, it's a real NA dream. Like I was saying before, I mean, it's been years since I've seen Bo Yates throwing down in some sort of NA platform. All of his vehicles well and truly north of the 300 kilowatt mark, while a 13B, probably lucky to make 100.
Bo Yates in the lead, doing everything the judges want to see. Killer run by both boys there as we take a look at the replay. Out nice and wide there. Mitchell Jeffries there on his door as they go for the S's. A little bit of a hesitation there from Jeffrey. Obviously his car is a little bit faster than Bo in the little NA13B.
Yeah, it'll be a difficult one to chase because, you know, when Bo's on, you can't give him an inch or he will rocket away. But at the same time, through those little sections there, the high grip, high power S13 of Mitchell Jeffrey just makes it that little bit more difficult to keep yourself up on power and ready to rocket out without actually going into the rear quarter. So Bo got the advantage there in the first run and we're right on board with him now.
Mitchell Jeffrey's in the lead, Bo in the chase as they carry in the corner. Jeffrey's out nice and wide there. They come through the S's. Let's see if Bo can get up on his door. This is where the grip level difference might start to take part.
Really pedaling it through that middle section there, but onto the front straight, and Mitchell Jeffrey is gone. Watch how hard his Bo is working for it here, trying to reel that gap in, but unfortunately unable to do so. At the same time, though, you know, speaking to the judges about the difference in powers around these cars, they do take that into account. So, you know, if a high-powered car gets out there and really gaps, you know, a lower-powered car, as long as through the corner sections you don't see that gap change, that's where they won't mark you down. But Mitch Jeffrey doing what he needed to do and really driving incredibly well both in the lead and the chase to get that advantage and go through and face off against James Abbott. Our other top four battle is going to be Brad Toohey and Rob Arbolino. Tight battles in the Famous Insurance Pro-Am. But before that, we've got similar battles in the Pro top four now. James Abbott there, ready and raring to go once again with that wild style steering wheel. I love it.
Yeah, the Blaze unit. But first, Brad Toohey in the lead, Rob Arbolino in the chase.
Battle of the LSs here. One of them with two superchargers, one of them with two turbos, both of them with a hell of a lot of power.
Brad Toohey out nice and wide there. Rob pushing up on his door as they come through the S's.
Looks like a bit of a straighten back there in the smoke from Rob Arbolino, skipping a front tyre across the infield.
There's smoke on both these cars, just absolutely clouding the track. Oh, Rob up nice and close on his door as they come around that last corner.
Yeah, a little bit of a gap early on in the run, but boy did he make up for it towards the end. Bit of a bobble here in the front wheels, a few issues there on the handbrake. Seemed pretty clean from Brad Toohey out in the front though, so it's going to be a hard one for the judges to call, but they have gone with Toohey. I mean, obviously there does seem to be the gap there. What I'm also meant is it's going to be a hard one for Arbolino to try and claw back, but he is in the lead now in a very high horsepower car, and you see when he's got that clear air, he just fills it with smoke and gets going.
Coming around that first corner. Good by both drivers as they come through the S's. Listen to those turbos roar, those superchargers on his door. Coming up to the last corner, Rob starts to pull away a gap on Toohey.
Big gap.
This could be the deciding factor of the run. Listen to that limbs.
Oh, he loves it, doesn't he? When you're the guy who has to pull the bearings and crank out of that motor, you don't mind hanging off it, do you?
Nah, why not? You got to do the work.
Because the ledge, that's why.
I do the same thing, but he's going to do all the work. He hates when I do it. Good run by both here. And there you go. Rob Arbolino gets the win and goes through to the final.
Looks like he clawed it back there. Yeah, a few mistakes early on in the chase, but the lead run was perfect.
It's never easy with that much smoke on the track trying to do your chase run. So, a few mistakes from both boys there. And obviously the judges seen Rob did enough to get through. What's going on here?
What's up? That doesn't look good for both drivers to get out on the line now. Bonnet pins up.
Jeffers does not look happy.
Ooh, helmet off as well. I'd say he's pretty confident that this car's not going on.
You'd be able to tell by the body language.
Ooh. Possibly a few issues under the bonnet there. I know he was fighting some ECU issues early on. Towards late last year as well, some stuff to do with coolant temp sensors and air temp sensors and stuff like that, sending it into limp mode. But even then he was able to start it, and
it doesn't look good.
Yeah,
that's always the hug of no good.
Oh, pretty bad there, and James Abbott going through to get a battle at least against one of his best mates there, Rob Arbolino. So obviously not the way he wants to go through the final, but could be a good night with Brad Toohey there. Pretty much getting the third position now with Mitch Jeffrey out, unless, of course, he can get it back together under a 5-minute rule, but I very much doubt it by the look on his face. Before we get there, we have some of the final battles in the Hi-Tec Pro Series. Two of the boys, Rob Arbolino up against James Abbott. All you need there is a Shembry down on the side of the track and you'd have the boys.
Yeah, the tripod. Oh, Rob, nice and tight on Jabb's door as they come that first corner.
Now this is the sort of battle we expect to see for the top of the podium. Rob Arbolino diving in there, practically knocking on the door of James Abbott, but then onto the straight. Jabbott seems to have the speed there. Oh, dirt dropping a straight in from James Abbott there.
There's always going to be who makes that little mistake in this battle. Obviously we drive a lot together, these boys, and they're out there putting a good show on for the crowd. Jabbott in the lead, you know, doing everything right up until now. Unfortunately, as they come around this last corner, you'll see pushing really hard, drops that wheel, and that's going to be pretty much advantage to Rob.
How good's that drive from Rob though, being able to follow that line but reel it back in and keep it off the outside track edge and still on the black stuff?
Here we go.
Oh, big dive in from James Abbott there, practically touching bonnets.
Look at that. Straight from Japan there by Jabs.
Perfect emulation as well. Both cars changing direction at the exact same time. This is what a battle should be.
Giving it away for the boys. Rob telling Jabs, come on mate, get on your door. As they come in the last corner.
Shembry's shirt practically over his head at the moment. Too keen to see the boys.
That's it. That's what we want to see. Killer final battle there by the boys. Well done to both of them.
How's the wave out the window from Arbolino? It's like, come on, come here mate, come on.
Come get me mate. Well done by both here. As you can see, Jabs throwing it down, doing what he does best in that chase run.
Really nicely emulated. I think that's one of the few runs tonight where I've seen both cars change direction at the same time. But, you know, Rob Arbolino out in front did a fantastic job, earned himself a point on the podium. Let's head down there now.
The first win for the team and or myself in that car with this team. So, you know, it shows a couple of practice nights pay off, and I'm finally starting to learn the car and I'm starting to mix it with the big boys, you know. So taking out Jabbott and Tui in one night is definitely something to party about. Yeah, without the sponsors, obviously Hi-Tec Oils, the car, the event, all the officials, Hog's Breath Cafe, Killy's Radial, Famous Car Insurance. Without all of them, yeah, none of this is possible. So again, thank you to all of them.
What an absolute legend, deserving that spot on top of the ladder and now within striking distance of Brad Tui. Rob Arbolino is tied for second position with Bo Yates, James Abbott behind him, and Mitch Jeffrey rounding out that top five there, knocking Mick Rosenblatt off because he didn't rock up tonight and come have a run. So the competition is thick heading into round 3 down at Winton in Victoria on the 26th of August. And you know what? We're going to have a practice event on the 25th as well. So if you've ever wanted to come and see these guys drive, or better yet, try and door one of them, this is your chance to go out and have a skid.
That's it. I might have to come out of retirement for this one.
Oh, mate, I might have a steer as well. It's going to be a great event, so don't miss it.
There's more to come on today's show after the break as we bring you all the sports action from the final round of the Swan Super Series of 2017.